Buenos días, mi gente. Good morning. Welcome to La Hora. No, Coffee Break with Carl. La Hora del Cafecito's new sister show. We just came up La Hora del Cafecito. My name is Lourdes Quiñones, and I would like to welcome you to the show. And first of all, I would like to tell you that Coffee Break with Card is a program dedicated to all those in our community who are living with autism, to their family members, and to all those who support them. So come on in, join us today, and let us know if you are watching and drinking your coffee with us. We have a special show today. As you can see, we're all Christmases. We're getting ready to go shopping for Christmas. So in today's program, we're going to be talking about some of the considerations and ideas for Christmas gifts. So if you have someone that you love that has autism and you don't know what to get them, this is the show for you. So come on in, let us know. We're going to be talking about gift ideas and some considerations. So join us. We'd love to have you. Anyway, so let's start out by introducing to you our coffee break hostesses for today. As I said, my name is Lourdes Quiñones. I am a card consultant assigned to the primary age group. And professionally, I'm also a pediatric physical therapist, as well as a special education teacher. I'm joined today by my colleagues, Jasmine Castellano. Buenos días, Jasmine.
Buenos días. Good morning, everyone.
Maggie Aldana. Buenos días, Maggie.
Good morning.
And Ima Camposano. Buenos días, Ima.
Good morning.
And we have our friend Olivia McDonald. Buenos días, Olivia.
Good morning. Thank you.
So Jasmine Castellano is an excellent professional in the field of mental health. And she's a card consultant assigned to the middle and high school age group. And she's the mother of 3, one of whom is diagnosed with autism. So welcome, Jasmine.
Thank you, Lourdes.
Bueno, and Olivia McDonald is an excellent professional in the field of public health. And she is a card consultant assigned to the primary age group, just like me, and is the mother of a beautiful infant baby boy. You love him. Anyway, and she has a younger brother diagnosed with autism. Welcome, Olivia.
Thank you, Lourdes. Yeah, he's almost 7 months.
I can't believe it. Solid foods now. Hello. Anyway, now Ima Camposano is completing her master's in social work, and she has chosen to do her internship here at CARD, and she is committed to serving those living with autism in our community. Ima is the mother of 2 and has a physical disability, so she brings an important perspective to the program. Welcome, Ima.
Thank you.
And Maggie Aldana is an excellent special education teacher, is the chair of CARD's constituency board, and is the mother of 3 children, 2 of whom are diagnosed with autism. Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you, Lourdes.
And we just want to say today is Ima's last day in our program. Oh, we're so sad about that, since this is the end of the semester today. And next semester, she'll be at CARD every day, but on Friday, she's at school, so she won't be able to join us. So we're going to miss her a lot, but we wanted to recognize her apport to the show, how much she's brought to the show. So thank you, Ima. And we love having you on the show. We hope you come back.
Thank you to you all, too.
All right. So before we get started, I wanted to make sure that we review the rules by which we want to adhere during this programming to make sure that we have a safe environment for everyone. Remember to keep an open mind and a positive attitude, as well as use respectful language. So Jasmine, do we have someone to say hello to this morning on our show?
We have Chris. He says very nice backgrounds. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you. We love it. I know we just found these and we're loving them. We're enjoying them. We didn't know we could do that. Well, that's our Christmas gift for us. Thank you. Anyway, so welcome. As you come in, you can sign in and we'd love to say hello to you. So just leave us your name and a comment and we'll say hello. Anyway, let's get started. I brought a PowerPoint that we can use. We need to do this thing with the backgrounds more often. I love it. Anyway, okay. So like I said, we're going to be talking about how to choose appropriate gifts during this holiday season, or even for birthdays or whatever is coming up that you may need. But particularly for the holiday season, we are going to be talking about gift giving. So let's get started.
Yes, Lourdes. What are some of the considerations we need to keep in mind before buying gifts for someone with autism?
All right, so let's go to the next slide. Hold on a second. I want to make sure that I can see everything. Okay. Yeah. So the first thing that we need to keep in mind is that we need to, first of all, realize that perhaps our loved one with uh, autism may not necessarily not like what we give them. I know we get sensitive about the fact that maybe they don't like our gift or something like that, but we have to realize that gift buying for little ones is usually very easy. It's something that, because they live with us, we might know their special areas of interest. We might know what they like. So it might be a lot easier to get gifts for someone that's younger. But maybe if you're buying for an adult with autism, you may find it more difficult to choose a gift. And you may be, feeling overwhelmed at the thought that not knowing what to get them, especially if in the past they did not seem to like the gift, or they didn't respond in a way that let you know that they really love the gift that you gave them. So first of all, we wanted to remind you that, because autism affects the area of social skills, maybe the person didn't like it. Maybe the person does like the gift that you're giving them, but they just don't know how to show it. Or maybe if they didn't like it, they don't know how to not show it in their face. So don't take it personal. This is why we're doing this show. We want to give you some ideas, just to keep in mind some things that might work. The person that you love, and you know what might work for them or not. And if we don't hit it on this show, at least you know more or less where to go, some of the consideration that you may want to do. And one of the things that we need to consider is the fact that, Christmas is a very sensory overwhelming experience for a lot of people with autism. We know that there's the smells, for example. Sometimes people wear perfumes that are too overwhelming for them. But even going in the home, if they're visiting, people may be having those candles that smell like pine or apple or cinnamon or something like that. Or there's a lot of things that may be invading their sensorial space. And we also know that there's a lot of lights, the Christmas lights and the Christmas music everywhere that we go. And people tend to be happy and very loud, maybe, and with lots of laughs and enjoyment, and in large groups. So all of those things might be affecting the way they respond. So we might just keep that in mind, because we know that they may have something like a hypersensitivity, which means they have a very low tolerance for sensory information. And very often I equate it to a cup of coffee, but it's this tiny, right? So that little cup of coffee is going to fill up very quickly. So maybe some of these things are getting involved. So when you're shopping for them, keep that in mind. Find out what kind of sensitivities do they have, or do they have hyposensitivity, which is something. I say the cup of coffee is like a huge one that takes a lot of information. So that will help you think about some of the gifts that might be, if it's something that can fill them up and give them a lot of sensory information in the area specific that affects them, because we know that they may have a hypersensitivity in one area and a hyposensitivity in another area. So we got to know which one is which and which area it's affecting them. So those are some of the considerations right off the bat that I wanted to go over.
That's a really great point, Lourdes, about the hyper and hypo areas of sensitivity. So for the sense of touch, what sensory gift ideas would you recommend, or do you have to share?
Okay, great. So are you ready to go shopping? Yeah, let's go shopping. Okay, so let's talk about the area of touch and as it pertains to the younger ones, the younger kids. So one great gift that we find that a lot of children with sensory seeking would enjoy would be the kinetic sand. And the great thing about it is it doesn't spill all over. So you can do those sensory bins. The dollar store is filled with shoe boxes that are, that you could use, or any of the containers for the kitchen that you can use to hold the kinetic sand on, and maybe fill it with toys inside so they can explore in it. So let's say that the topic of interest is dinosaurs, so that you can hide the dinosaurs in there. Always be mindful not to put too small pieces that they could swallow or stick in their ears or their noses. That is a thing. Come to find out, happened to me. Anyway, with my children. So be sure that it's appropriate for the age of the child, that you have their interest areas and all that stuff, and safety being an important area. Also, Play-Doh. You can never go wrong with Play-Doh. Favorite among the children. And the ones on the right are the mousse. Those are like slime, but they're called mousse. And so their texture is not as maybe sticky as other slimes. So that I found that one to be very nice. But anything on the slimes, those might be. When I was teaching, I know that I couldn't go anywhere without my Play-Doh. And actually, on the days that we had drills, I would have Play-Dohs hidden in the bathroom so I could keep them occupied while we were hiding in the bathroom when we were doing our practice drills. Anyway, so always a great thing to have in your home and as a gift for children. Also, we want to talk about maybe the handling of the toys, anything that's a fidget toy. This is a particular case that brought all of this. I found this in Amazon. Most of the pictures that I took, I got them at Amazon, only because they're in the business of selling it. I knew they would have something, but you can find them anywhere. You can go to Walmart or Target or anything, or online. So find out. We have put some resources at the end of this presentation that we're going to be sharing with you, of even other places that were shared with me as I was putting this together, that were so cool that you can pursue those kinds of resources. But anyway, and this one here has a lot of fidgeting toys and whatever, and it also has, for the visual, that little lava kind of lamp on the left side of the screen. So those things, so think about that in the area of touch and even vision. We also found hold on, there's a delay. There we go. So we also found the jewelry for children. That's also a wonderful one to keep in mind. They can keep their hands busy. There's a fidget little things. I have this little bottle here that I can entertain myself opening and closing, or I could touch the sensory description here, and it can keep someone busy. In this case, they have the pop-ups. That's pretty common right now. Those little jewelry things or toys that you push so they're silent. They're not making like the clickety sounds of some of the fidgets that we've known in the past. And then the necklaces or bracelets they can keep, so they can bite them and keep busy in their little mouths, and at the same time not being intrusive. And for adults, they actually have that option as well. So I'll show you. There we go. So those rings, so very cute, that they can, very discreetly keep their hands busy. Their earrings, they can also do it. I was, showing that I have, this one was made for me. But this is very, I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, it's a snowman. It's a snowman, if you can see it. But the hat is made up of two parts, and you can twist the ring on the bottom of it. The balls that make up the pearls that make up, they also switch. So it's a very interactive toy, earring. So you could use that. Look at that necklace in the center. You could be a beautiful necklace that they're wearing, the adults, and they're just fidgeting with it. And it's not, it's not very obvious. It's not intrusive at all. And the great thing is that, because we're always thinking about girls and maybe children, But the great thing is that it's also available for men. Look at that. So the ring, very discreetly, as you can see, the ring, that blue part in the middle of it, it actually twirls. So they could be, very discreetly keeping their hands busy while they're, I don't know, in a meeting or something like that. And then the necklace, the same thing. It looks like a very beautiful piece of jewelry, but it's also a fidget jewelry piece. So nice one. And then we have the sensory gift ideas also of maybe decorative pillows. And so in this case, I actually have a sample. I got this last year from the dollar store. And so you see that? So what it is this is sequin. Is that how you pronounce it? Sequin? Anyway, and so you would just go and you touch it. So you could just entertain yourself just doing that. I got this, like I said, at the dollar store. Oh, it's moving in and out because of my background. Anyway, but you get the idea. I also got it in the boot. And again, I said, see that one? And then the boot, it goes into red, the silver and red. And these are decorative pieces for Christmas, and it's coming in and out. But anyway, you get the idea. My hat is the same way. Dollar store, great gift, sensory, but you don't have to spend too much money. So that's all I have right now for touch.
Thank you so much, Lourdes, for sharing those ideas. And I love those pillows. They're so cute. Could you please share some ideas for the proprioceptive sense?
Yes. Okay. So proprioceptive sense, we always talk about what is it. So it's really that sense of that allows us to know where we are in space. So a lot of the things that we know about the proprioceptive sense is that with compression, it helps to calm. That's why some children really seek out, especially if they're hypo. Remember that that big cup of coffee. If they're hypo, they seek out that deep pressure. Like they love those hugs, and they like to feel things. They're very heavy-handed. So a lot of times we're thinking that they're just being rough, but it really and honestly, they're just looking for sensory input. So, and here, but the weighted blankets are a great idea for the sense of proprioception because it helps to calm the system. So it can be used, it's perfect for sleeping. A lot of adults are using it without autism. They're using it just to be able to sleep, people with insomnia. And so so they're really, really very popular, and see that adult version of it. It is so wonderful because it's heavy, it's beautiful, and it's discreet, like I said, and appropriate for the age group. And then we have these deep pressure massagers. If you can see the one on the left, that is something that they could wear themselves on whatever part of the body that they're needing it, their neck, their shoulders, their back, and they just pull on it and it provides that deep pressure. There's the handheld massagers. There's all the kinds. There's for the feet massage machines, that there's some that you can lay on. There's some that can be laid on you. And then there's the boots that actually provide compression to the entire leg area. So those are wonderful because they get all that input. So those might be ideas of how to get the gifts that are appropriate for the proprioceptive system. That's all I got.
Thank you, Lourdes. What ideas do you have for the hearing and vestibular area?
Okay. So for the hearing, we know that a lot of our loved ones with autism tend to have sensitivities in the hearing area. So obviously, the first thing to think about is those noise canceling headphones. We can find them appropriately for boys and girls. They have cute versions. There's some that have plug-ins and some that are Bluetooth. So those are considerations that you may want. You want to make sure that they do cancel noise. Some of them, you see how they're wider, they're puffier than a regular headphone. So it's for that purpose. Now, one thing that I always like to tell and warn people is like they shouldn't be worn every day, every moment of the day. Why? Because if they're sensitive to begin with, they're going to become even more sensitive because they're not going to get practice with sound. So we want to make sure that's an on-off kind of thing. Use it appropriately. If it's a loud environment, by all means, use it. But if it's a place that is not as loud, or would it be wonderful? Yeah, would it help out? Sure. But they also need practice with sound so they can become less sensitive to all noises. So keep that in mind. And then for adults or youth, you can have something that looks more age appropriate and it's less obvious, like the headphones. They don't have to be Beats, but they could be. It would be cool. And then there's also these here are plugins. So maybe they don't want to be wearing this big headphone in their head. So, but they also, you have to monitor whether they're going to be sensitive to something inside their ear. They might not tolerate it, but if they don't, that's a great option. And it was only like $15. So it wasn't, I was surprised at the price of it. And I really want them. I want them for myself. So when I go into airplanes, I can't tolerate people talking. Or the baby's crying in an airplane. I'm like, I need to cover me. Anyway, so I think I'm going to order them for me. Anyway, so that's the area that I have in terms of the sensory audition. But I also have for the vestibular sense, which is inside the ears, but it tells us about movement, right? So we have the trampolines. We also know that our children who seek that vestibular input really gravitate towards this. I like the one that has a grab bar because you know how easy we can lose our balance and jumping in place. It would not be surprising if they lose their footing and end up on the floor. So I like the ones with the grab bar so they can be safe. You need to add rules to how they're going to use it, when it's appropriate. So great item also to use during study time. So they can take those breaks that are vestibular. So, 5 minutes of this or 2 minutes of this, and then some jumping. So those are some great ideas. I like the middle swing set. I love it because it includes this platform swing, which is great for positioning. The child could position themselves in prone or in their tummies, which also helps with that vestibular system and to organize it. So that's something that we use in therapy all the time. So I love that about that. They can also be on their back, so they could get extraneous or more movement in their ears if they put their head back, which they love. So they'll be getting all that sensory input. And then for the adults or the youth that are able to use this safely, we have the balls, the exercise ball. This one in particular has all this dots, so it's very sensory again, so they could be touching it and getting that sensory input if they're seekers of that. And then a normal swing chair. ¿Cómo se llama esto? What is this called?
Rocking chair.
Rocking chair. I'm going blank. Anyway, so the rocking chair is also something that is very useful. You could have that in the home, and they can just be during learning activities as well. They could be soothing themselves with movement without having to be walking or moving around. And then finally, something that I really wanted people to consider, and this I love also. I've done this. My boys gave me this for a gift one year, and it's amazing. And it's that sensory deprivation pools. And there's some in the area. So if you don't know about it, look it up. And it's really, you get to float. They had some minerals in it. I didn't look it up for this presentation, so I can't tell you exactly what it is that it has. But what it does is it allows you to float in it. So even if you don't know how to swim, it will make you float. And it just allows you to turn the lights off. The pool has lights inside, so you could turn that on if you wanted to. But the idea that is, takes away the pressure from gravity. So you're just, obviously you're in a pool, but you're really floating. It feels amazing on your senses, and it's something. The room, you're by yourself in a room which has a shower. They turn off the lights, so you get to be quiet in the area and just really relax. And it's not scary. They have some tubs. That they can close. It looks like an egg, but if you're afraid of that or you think you're going to get claustrophobic, they also have a pool. I use the pool. My son used the egg, the one that he closed, but I use the pool. So if you don't want to be closed in there, you can use the pool. So that's all I have in terms of the vestibular system and the auditory system.
Lourdes, anything else you would like to share?
Yes, I do. The last thing I wanted to share is, obviously we can't cover every area, otherwise we're going to be here forever. But I also wanted to remind you of consideration, especially our youth and our adults that may be embarking in maybe a job or school, and they need help with organization. As we know, a lot of people with autism, and even if we don't have autism, I use them all the time. This particular planner was pretty cool because it's a 12-month. It doesn't have the dates already, so you get to write them. So for those people who, like me, tend to not like to waste things. So if I miss the day, I like to be able to add my date to it instead of just saying, it's gone, right? So it has all that stuff, but it has all the portions of it that allow you to plan your day and track your routine. This one here says the main goals of the week. So it has a lot of particular ones. So you might just shop around for something that you think will be useful for the person and help them organize and teaching them. This is a visual strategy that they're going to need forever. So even teenagers, anybody that you're preparing to be independent or that are already independent. And then we have the weekly planners. This one here are erasable, so very thin, very lightweight. You can put this on at home or in the refrigerator because it's magnetic. So they can track their week and plan ahead and be more independent. And then in terms of the children, this one here, it's something that I really wanted to share because we know that our children with autism very often don't sleep very well at night, right? And they're just for safety reasons, we want to make sure that if they're supposed to be in bed, they're in bed while we're sleeping, right? So this particular style of alarm clock is pretty cool. They have it in different areas of interest. But as the child is supposed to be in bed, or at least in the room without opening the door and staying in the room, the light is red. You set up the alarm, so it's red. So they know visually, oh no, it's not time to go wake up mommy and daddy. No, I still have to stay in my room. Then they have the yellow one that prepares them, like don't get anxious, about this time you're almost gonna go. And then they have the green one. You can shut off the middle one if you want to, but I think it will also help them understand that time is about to expire. So I will use it, but you would get to know your loved one much better with time. So you'll know if it helps or actually makes them more anxious. You can shut it off. And then the green says, okay, now you can go. So I really thought this was a great gift for keeping our loved ones safe and for us to be able to sleep, right? Because otherwise you're always sleeping with one ear open. And afraid that your child might be walking out of the room, and then what do they do after that? Are they getting into trouble safety-wise, right? So, and then also, lastly, I wanted to share that where all else fails, you don't know what to give, money's always good. Okay, so we know for a fact that a lot of people with autism are either unemployed or underemployed, right? So money is never wrong, but if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to give away money and like that, you just really want to make it more meaningful than just money feels like I'm not giving you anything. So you can always give a gift card, any gift card to a place that you know that they really like, or those credit card, MasterCard, Visas that you put money on it, so that you start them out with something. And then also think about maybe their favorite places to visit: Busch Gardens, maybe the zoo, anywhere in town that they might enjoy going, Disney, whatever their favorite place is. You can give them a year-round membership to it, or even sporting event, or they like the Lightning, maybe they can have season tickets, or maybe just the tickets for one game. So that's always a good gift. And then so that brings us to the resources, which we're going to be sharing with you. Some ideas. There are additional ones in here that I thought that you can go check out and see if you get ideas from those places. A lot of nice stuff that was shared to me, so I wanted to share it with you. And that brings us to the end of the presentation. Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great time.
Thank you, Lourdes. This was great.
Yeah, thank you. So we can stop sharing now.
Lots of great ideas for gifts.
Right? I could have gone on forever. Are we still sharing? Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Okay, so do we have any comments or anything from the audience? Any ideas? If you're watching this and you have ideas, other stuff that you would like for us to add in here or to share with our audience, go ahead and add it. We'd love to get a little conversation and ideas being shared on a chat. So anyway, no comments?
No, we don't have any comments.
Perfect. All righty. Didn't want to ignore people. Anyway, so before we go, that we're almost at the end of the show, but before we go, I wanted to thank Olivia and thank Ima for bringing so many good ideas that they shared with me that I could add it to that presentation. So thank you for doing that. Anyway, as well as our other ones of our colleagues who send me, because I sent out an email saying anybody has ideas, and so a lot of my colleagues sent out a lot of ideas. So thank you. If they weren't here in terms of pictures, they're included in the resources. So thank you for sharing those. Anyway, I wanted also to let you know that next week we're going to be interviewing our colleague Lise Burke. And she is the one who manages our Autism Friendly program. And so she's going to be coming in here and telling us about the Autism Friendly program, the businesses in the area who are already sensory friendly, and some of their events coming up that are sensory friendly for the holidays. So be sure to be here and meet us. We're going to be here talking about that next week on December 10th. Okay. So that, before we go, I also wanted to ask you a favor, and it's please go ahead and give us, what you think about the program. Is this type of programming works for you? There's a link there to a survey. It takes less than a minute. Just go in there and let us know. Even if you've done it in the past, this is the way that we can justify the time that it takes us to be on the air with you, as well as preparing this kind of information. And we just want to know how we're doing. Is this something that, you see value, you want us to keep bringing you? Just let us know. Okay. So thank you ahead of time for doing that. We really appreciate it. And that does bring us to the end of the show. So we'd like to ask you to remember to give us a like, share this video on your page, and be sure to meet us here every Friday around 10:45-ish, so we can share a cup of coffee with you and spill the beans on important topics related to autism. Okay. But until then, we want to wish you goodbye.
And hot coffee.
See you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.